It's a pleasure to see you, and to see you is a pleasure. Piacere. Buonanotte. Spero che tu va bene. Ciao. Had a lovely day. I was in a restaurant, and the restaurant was in the middle of nowhere. Do you know where nowhere is? Well, we were in the middle of it, and it was fascinating because there was all these Christmas lights, but it's not Christmas, and the lights were beautiful. It was like an enchanted forest. Like, who would set up a restaurant in the middle of nowhere? Like, where are the customers coming from? But clearly, they had us as customers, and it was lovely. Now, a few years ago, I read Italian for 2 years and watched the news because I had nothing to do. So, at the time, so ho imparato di parlare italiano. And it was great because the guy was Italian. So I'm like, grazie mille per la sua servizio, il suo servizio. I don't remember, I get the genders mixed up. But it was great to, you know, pass potentially as an Italian Australian, just to be someone else for the night. Why not? It was great. Anyway, I've learned, of course, the hard way that my speaking to people it can be for the other person quite difficult. And over the years, over a long time, I've seen this over and over again. People moving away, walking away, finding it too difficult. And of course, then the autism diagnosis came in, then many, many years of therapy on how to try and reduce that difficulty, that abrasion that neurotypicals face. But to understand it to an atomic level has never happened before until my current lovely partner, who is amazing and has unbelievable patience and curiosity about how the mind of the neurodivergent works. And so I get to learn on an atomic level what things mean and what they don't mean. And oh, the lights have gone out. Let's put them back on. Hello again. Yes, I'm sitting in my car. I say my car. Let's just say my car. um, Anyway, so the word was because. Now, neurotypicals will hear this. No, the correct version, I say the literal autistic version, is because ties a cause with an effect. In other words, um, the water was boiling because it was heated to a boiling point. But neurotypicals add an emotional meaning to this word. They do this without realizing that they're doing this. And the problem is that they then project that meaning onto you and assume that you've implied this meaning when you have no idea that you've implied this meaning. So someone, for example, will say, or I would say, oh, I'll drink some tea that someone made for me. And I'll say, oh, it's burning, g'day, Jade, it's burning my lips because the tea is hot. Now, as an autistic person, I'm just saying cause and effect. It's literal. It's weird that I have to say that because to me, that's all it means. But the neurotypical has extra meanings from that. They're saying, oh, Gabriel has implied that I made the tea too hot for him. So therefore, he's saying I'm not good at making tea. Now, in my head, I'm thinking, what planet is this neurotypical from? Clearly from Earth. That means I'm not from Earth. Where am I from? This is happening all the time, but I'm only conscious of it in that way. Just arrived. What are we talking about? We are talking, as a recap, about the word because. The autistic mindset is that the word because connects cause and effect. But for the neurotypical, I've only just realized, yes, all these years later, that because for a neurotypical carries emotional weight. So if someone says to you, why did you lose your phone? And you say, oh, because I wasn't looking after it properly. Now, the thing is, that is just a logical statement, cause and effect. But the neurotypical hearing the autistic say that, here's an implication. Oh, they're saying that they're careless with their phone, or they're saying that they don't like their phone. Like, they add meaning to it, which other neurotypicals will say, sure, yeah, of course there was meaning. But the autistic person says, what are you talking about? And all that happens is an argument ensues because nobody realizes that the other person is talking in a completely different language, even though they're both using English words. So I'll give you an example. Once with a past girlfriend, she said, would you like some Milo? And I said, sure. So she came back and I drank the Milo and it tasted like Ovaltine. And I said, that's not Milo, that's Ovaltine. Now, with the neurotypical, Milo and Ovaltine are both euphemisms, stand-in words for chocolate milk. But in the autistic mind, she's lying. So why would you lie to me? How dare you lie to me? I've spoken about this before, but this is more on an atomic level. When you meet someone who is neurodivergent, when they hear a word in their brain, what the meaning is so different. And it happens with every single word. So you could be talking with your boyfriend or girlfriend or your family, and they'll say, "Why are you yelling?" And you might say, "Because I'm angry," right? Now, you don't mean the neurotypical meaning. The neurotypical meaning is saying that you deserve to be yelled at because I'm angry. So my anger justifies yelling at you. And that's 100% not what the autistic person is saying. They're saying cause and effect. If I'm angry, therefore I yell. That's it. There's no other content. It's purely literal. Now, of course, it goes the other way, because when a neurotypical will say, "How are you?" then the autistic person says, "Why are you inquiring about my condition?" Because that's what the question's asking. Another question a neurotypical will ask is, "How was your day?" or "How was your day?" And the autistic person will not realize that the neurotypical is just trying to connect with them. The autistic person will say, "The day hasn't ended. How can you ask me how it was? Wouldn't you want to ask me how it's currently going?" Now, to a neurotypical, it sounds like you're being a smartass. Very interesting. The autistic is not being a smartass, but the other person doesn't know that they're not being a smartass, and they can't imagine that they're not being a smartass. Hello, Misha Tsokur, good to see you. So what happens in the end? The other person says, "Oh, that guy's a smartass," and the guy says, "Why is this person acting weird?" And that is the story of the mismatch between conversation between neurodivergent and neurotype or neurotypical. Happens all the time, everywhere. And all people say in media is, "Oh, people with autism think differently." What I'm trying to now figure out, courtesy of my amazing girlfriend, is how, word by word, I am a Semite from Australia. Anyway, so that was all I had to say, because I'm going to go to sleep now, and I will talk to you all another time. And it's a pleasure to see you, and to see you is a pleasure. Grazie mille per la sua compagnia, e spero che voi vanno bene. Wow. Anyway, ciao. Pleasure to talk to you. And until next time, don't forget to take life one smack at a time. And I don't mean that literally.